I can't wear my respirator if I don't shave my balls.
You probably look like the biggest troll. Walk in with a flashlight, whistle, and Sharpie. They're like, this guy is up to no good. This guy's trouble.
Like an opaque, a black bag.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Not a see-through backpack.
Not a see-through backpack.
That's what I wouldn't want in my see-through backpack.
So
That'd be insane to see someone fall in, go underwater, and then just come back up on a bike and just like, just cruise out, dude. Kind of displaying it to others, like, yeah, jingling, jangling, or is it like
Spurs?
Like Spurs? Don't. We're not going there right now. We are not going there. What's going on, dude?
Man, I don't know. It's about to be the next year.
It is. It doesn't really feel like it. I haven't mentally prepared myself for it.
No.
And it every year it kind of just sneaks up on you more and more.
Yeah, it does. You get used to writing, 2023 at the end of things,
right,
when you're
December.
dating things.
Yeah.
And then right when you got it down,
Yep.
it's the next year and you're like, I have to start like,
dude, cuz like it's like time speeds up. Like everything speeds up the older you get.
yes.
So like how is it like when you're like 55?
Oh no, I don't even want to think about that.
Like you probably forget that like it is the year that it is, and then before you know it, like you probably skip like 5 years goes by like 1 year.
I don't know. It seems like that's one thing that older people seem to adapt to more readily, is they just understand that it's always going to be an unexpected year.
They just become like months for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just like, okay, I can keep track of what month it is. It's not that hard.
Right. Dude, that's got to be scary though, because like the older you get, the closer you are to just kicking the bucket.
Yeah.
And so it's but yet time is accelerating faster than you've ever perceived it.
Right.
So you're just like on like you're ramping up to just death.
Yes.
You're running faster and faster towards your grave.
Yes. I've given that some thought. I don't particularly like it.
I remember like when COVID hit, I was talking to Mike's parents, and he was, they're kind of on the older side or whatever,
Yeah.
and like a lot of our parents, but they were like, I think his mom was just like, yeah, COVID sucks because it's like it's a whole year that we don't get to just travel and like live our lives,
Right.
and it's like we're not getting any younger, and like I think at the time I was just like, oh yeah, that makes sense, but like looking back, like thinking back on it, I'm like, how much faster is reality just moving for them? How much like how much more valuable is a single year for them?
Yeah, that's a whole last
than
year.
it is for us.
Lost.
Yeah.
Lost to the ravages of COVID and
Yeah, dude.
all of the associated bullshit.
Yeah, man. I quick review recap on 2023. Your thoughts on the last year?
I don't know, man.
You want to give it a quick number on a 1 to 10 scale? Give it a PSA grade.
It's had some ups and downs. I think is this just my subjective experience, or am I trying to like lay it down for the planet?
I mean, dude, doing it for the planet's pretty heavy. I think it's been kind of a shit show for that.
It's been like a 3 for the planet.
Yeah, I'm hoping to hear that your personal year was going to rank a higher score than it did for the planet, for good old Earth.
Overall, I think I'd give it a 7.
A 7's pretty solid. A 7 is good.
Yeah.
Like if IGN gives a game a 7, like I'll play it.
Right.
Like,
right.
all right, it's worth checking out.
And that may be slightly generous, but I like to be generous.
Yeah.
In my
yeah
dealings and life, and
Right.
it helps support my optimism habit.
Yeah, definitely. Because you could, like, somebody else with a bad attitude could have had the exact same year as you and been like, that was a 2 for sure.
Yeah.
But then it's like, I don't know, that doesn't really.
The lowest that I could go for my year was like a 5.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I'd like to think of it as a 7.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like, what are you benchmarking it against? Are you benchmarking it against like the average of all the other years that you've had personally, or are you averaging? Are you basing it off of like just what you think the average life is like for the average human?
No, it's based off of my life experiences.
Yeah, because that's what you know.
Right. And the criteria change year to year as my experience and perspective evolves.
Right.
But I would say all things considered, I'm willing to look on the bright side and give it a 7.
What was give me a peak highlight and then a peak low of the year for you. You can start with whichever one you like, and I'll answer mine afterwards. So you're not the only one on the spot.
I guess a peak highlight was that I got to go and travel a good bit for work.
Yeah.
That was really cool. That was kind of unexpected, and it was just an opportunity that was thrown my way, and I was like, I've learned in life that you should take opportunities.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
just grab them and see what happens.
Right.
And that turned out great. I got to do some cool stuff. See some family that I hadn't seen in years.
Right.
And the work itself was satisfying. Like it was not frustrating. It wasn't super stressful, but it was satisfying.
Yeah, it seemed like you had a good time. I was happy to see you traveling and stuff, because I know it's not something that you do all the time, but it's like I've seen so many of those viral like TikToks and Instagram videos where some dipshit teenager will walk up to like some old people on the street and be like, oh, you're 76, like what's like your biggest life regret if you could talk to someone my age right now? And like usually the number one answer is like, I wish I would have like just taken more risks.
Yeah.
I wish I would have just stepped outside of my comfort zone more often and just not given a shit.
Right.
It's like that's like the number one thing that people say.
So that's definitely I'm still gonna be on my deathbed saying that. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to cut down on the intensity of that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And I think my low this year was having to buy a car.
Oh yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah, dude. Man, how was that? Was it like the typical like the sharks are just trying to milk you for all you're worth? Was it? Because I know there's different services now that you could just do it all through email. And it's like you agree on a number before you even step foot onto the dealership. It wasn't like that. It was more traditional.
I tried to be strategic and do some comparative shopping. Like I figured out what I wanted pretty quick.
Yeah.
But then it's just so much it's such a hassle to get out to dealerships and like actually see the vehicle.
Right.
And
it's a chore, dude.
Anyway, so I was going through that for a while, and then I was just like, screw it, let me renew my Costco membership. Costco has an auto buying service.
Yeah.
That basically gets you good vehicles and gets you a discount and gets that discounted price like locked in.
Yeah.
And I was just like, screw it. I picked something. I was like, I'm willing to be happy with this. I got an extra, $500 off from the Costco thing. And I just went and did it. And I was like, I want it to be over.
Yeah.
So, let's get down to brass tacks. Let's make this work.
Yeah.
I got my, financing. I got this much down payment, blah, blah, blah. I'll take the extended warranty. I'll pass on this and that, and let's do it.
Yeah. Dude, that's the worst part when it's like all I want is the car, but then they're also pitching you like a dozen options, a dozen add-ons, and it's like they always like name it weird things, and you don't know exactly like, okay, is this something crucial that I really should be getting, or is this fluff?
One of the things that I kind of enjoy in a small way is reading the fine print on the add-ons.
Yeah.
And making them wait.
Yeah.
While I thoroughly read the fine print.
For sure.
Because if I'm going to spend money on it.
Yeah, you got to know what the hell you're getting.
And it's just kind of satisfying to be like, okay, I'm in charge now because I'm reading the fine print.
Yeah,
so
right.
I can enjoy that for a little while.
You just like light up a cigar in their office. Just like, do you mind if I kick my feet up a bit?
And they just have to be patient because
Yeah,
they're
right.
waiting to get paid.
Yeah.
And it's you're the one
Right.
controlling the speed of things.
Dude, that sounds like a Borat skit, or like, you know what I mean, like a prank where he just like sees how far he can push, because they're all so desperate.
Yeah.
They're all so desperate for your money. So you could probably get away with so much before they're like, we gotta ask you to leave.
Unfortunately, like when I was buying, the car market was like, it was a seller's market, so they weren't that desperate.
Okay.
But I made the most of it.
Yeah.
I was happy with what I got, and
Right.
I was just happy that it was over. It was like, at some point, I think it would be I would be a lot more excited to get a car if I was like not put in a situation where I like had to have one. Like
Right.
I could take my time
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
really just go, okay, I know what I want. I know exactly what I want, how much I'm willing to pay.
Right.
And I can just, be strategic about it and wait until it's the end of the fiscal quarter or something.
Yeah.
Where the dealerships are like, oh, we got to sell one more car to make our quota.
Right.
And then get a super good deal on it.
Like at that point, it can be kind of fun because you're just like, there's no pressure, or there's much less pressure, I should say.
Yeah.
And it's not like you're racing against the clock trying to, like I need wheels today, otherwise I can't go to work tomorrow.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's unfortunately the position you were in a way where it's just like, dude, I need a car ASAP, and so you have limited time, limited options. It's stressful. It's definitely stressful.
So that would be my low point.
Yeah, no, that totally tracks. I would say my high point was Taiwan for Chinese New Year. That was super cool.
Hell yeah.
That was super cool. I mean, Taiwan is already like my favorite country, or at least Taipei is my favorite city that I've traveled to. And being there for Chinese New Year was super cool.
Epic.
Pretty epic, because like everyone's just off for like a week or plus, and so it's like it's like magical. It's like Christmas, but like 10 times more intense. Is that thing. Did you tighten the ball? Yeah. Turn that. Give it like a good quarter of a half crank.
All right, that's better. That's better.
But like I remember like the first morning we woke up, I went with Mel, and we were at this, Grand Hyatt, nice hotel. We start going down the elevator the first morning, and I just hear like this banging, like this crazy noise. I'm like, what is that? I thought
like big industrial banging?
Big industrial banging. Like it was muffled because we're in an elevator. So it was hard to tell what it was. I was like, that's not the elevator fucking up, is it? It's like, it was probably made in China. So the door is open, and then like the banging is just super loud, and it's just this huge Chinese New Year ceremony going on in the lobby, and it's insane. It's like there's like dudes dressed up like dragons, where it's like 2 or 3 dudes under a single dragon, outfit or whatever.
And the banging is drums?
The banging is drums. There's like drummers, and it's like really loud and really syncopated. And then these dragon dudes are like balancing on these poles. Like they're like it's like really cool, like almost like acrobatic Cirque du Soleil type shit. And it's just like happening in the middle of this lobby. And mind you, there's hundreds of people in this massive hotel lobby, and the lobby is multi-floored. So it's like you can see people like leaning over the railings on the second and third floors.
Sort of like a mall atrium?
Like a mall atrium.
Wow.
And it was just like epic, and our good friend Quinones and his girlfriend just happened to be at a neighboring hotel at the same time.
Yeah.
So they walked over, and it was just cool, like being in a foreign place at this really amazing time, this epic holiday that you haven't experienced before, and then like also like you're with your girlfriend, and your one of your best friends is there.
Yeah.
It was just a really cool time.
And it's just like you get to see all the cool cultural aspect
Yeah,
to it.
absolutely. And also I got to meet my girlfriend's side of the family that lives there.
Nice.
That was a cool experience for sure.
Nice. Was that a chance to kind of get out into the countryside a little bit?
No, they live like right next to Taipei 101, like in the business center.
Okay.
Actually, well, like her aunt and uncle do, and then her grandparents are a little bit more on the outskirts, but they're still very much in the city.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought the same thing. I was like, oh damn, like it's like living in downtown LA.
Oh wow.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like it's a nice place. They have a nice place, but it was just cool, like feeling like first of all just trying to get to know them through a language barrier.
Yeah.
You know, and I think like two of her uncles actually kind of speak some decent English.
Yeah.
So it was cool like being able to talk to them, and then it was just a trip, dude. It was a wild experience. You know, one of her cousins was like, "Do you know what this word means?" And I was like, she said it in Chinese. And I was like, I have no idea. What is that? And she's like, that's your girlfriend's name in China. I was like, damn, this is a bad first impression, bro. I'm really dropping the ball right now.
I mean, in all fairness, though, like, should you have been expected to be like, oh, you need to teach me your Chinese name?
No, I don't think. I think they laughed it off. I don't think they put too much weight on it. But you know,
Just a little trolling.
a little friendly trolling.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a highlight. Low point. Damn. What was a low point, man? When Ari scratched my car.
You were pissed about that.
I wasn't pissed.
You weren't pissed. You were just
sad.
upset.
I'm just sad because it's like it's gonna be there forever
Until you get a new paint job.
until I get a new paint job or replace the bumper. You haven't seen it, have you?
I don't. Is it like a luggage scratch when you take stuff out of the trunk?
So let me set the story up for those who don't know. Ari, my very good friend, he's a Twitch streamer, super talented guy,
Badass dude.
We'd met each other on Twitch, and this is the very first time he was. We were meeting in person.
Mm-hmm.
He came to LA. He's from way out of town, and he rolls up in his Uber. And he's got his whole equipment. He does live music streaming and recording.
He has
music
an
producer.
intense rig
that he like walks around with. He's got like basically a PC on his back with, you know, the keyboard just strapped in. It's like this huge harness that he custom built. It's insane. And he brings it along with him because he's about to do a stream. I'm going to join him for it. And he's like, oh, can I load this in the back of your car? I'm like, yeah, sure. I pop my trunk. And he's like trying to fit it in. It's like so awkwardly shaped. It's huge. It's heavy and bulky. And then I like take a step back and I realize that one of the unsmooth, like the sharpened edges of his metal frame of this getup that he's got is just completely digging into the bumper of my car. And I'm just like, oh shit. And he's like, oh my God, dude, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Like I just like I've only been here for 5 seconds and I'm already up your car. It was like the more time that passes, the funnier the story gets, and the more fondly I look back on it. But in the moment, I was just like, dude, no, because it's like when you see it, it's like it's a pretty big scratch and it's fairly deep. It kind of reminds me of like if my car had a Harry Potter scar, you know, like the scar on his forehead. It's kind of like that. It kind of does like a weird zigzag thing.
You should have had Ari autograph
signed it. Yeah, dude. I could have sold the bumper when that dude eventually headlines Coachella.
Right.
You know, kid's going places, but he ain't going near my car again. That's for sure. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, Ari.
I love that was your low point. Like you really had to think about it, and you're like thinking about it. And you're like, man, what sucked this year? Oh, my car got scratched.
Honestly, like I'm pretty easygoing. That was one of the biggest bummers. And even still, I'm not like it doesn't keep me up at night or anything.
No, but
I'll just see it and I'll go. Oh, that's still there, isn't it? That's still there.
Ari, for you who haven't heard of him, Ari at Home on Twitch.
Ari at Home, dude. Check him out.
He does awesome music. It's all improv. He is a real goat.
He is the goat.
Crazy talented.
Yeah. But overall, I would say 2023 was a success. You know,
another year without catching COVID.
Did I? I caught COVID. Oh wait, how could I be so dumb and insensitive? My low point was my grandpa dying.
Oh, well that's a real low point.
I think that trumps the scar on my car.
I think it does.
Yeah. And that was very much a low point because I was in Korea. It was right after.
Yeah.
It was the second time because I went to Taiwan once in January for New Year's and then again for Computex. Mm-hmm. After that Computex trip, Mel and I went to Korea, South Korea, and just for vacation. And that's when I found out I got a call from my mom or a text really because I couldn't really do phone calls that my grandpa had passed. It was just random stroke out of nowhere. And I was very close to my grandpa, very close. I lived with him for
Yeah.
a number of years.
I remember.
And it was strange because I had just caught COVID as well. So I was dealing with COVID. And so I had this like physical ailment and this emotional turmoil. And it was all just culminating at once. And I was in a foreign land. I didn't really know. Like at one point I was just like, is this real? Like, it was just so surreal.
Yeah.
Especially just being there. And
yeah, when you're completely out of any environment that's familiar, you're totally in a strange place.
Right.
It things can get surreal pretty easily.
Definitely. And just like being so far from family.
Yeah.
It's like I wanted to be there to comfort my mom and like, just my family and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just, you just felt so powerless. So powerless in that moment. So that was definitely, that blew. That definitely blew. But, that's how it goes
Can't
sometimes.
have highs without lows, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Have you ever practiced doing that where you're like at the end of the day you're like, what were my highs and what were my lows for the day?
I don't think I've ever done that. Is that like a
I don't know if
therapy
that's,
technique?
I think I've seen it in movies.
Okay. Have you done it?
No. Not really. But I thought I saw it in some movie where like a dad is doing it with his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's going to bed and he's like, what were your highs? What were your lows?
Yeah.
Like, I was like, that's a cool thing to do with your kids. Like make them think through their day and be mindful throughout the day of how they're feeling about stuff.
I think that's a good practice, especially for younger people, because it's very easy to remember all the bad shit that happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like, that's like, you always notice when there's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
If everything's just operating smoothly, you don't notice it. Like,
and then you don't appreciate it.
Exactly.
Because I put it this way. There's nothing like being sick to make you appreciate how good it is to just feel normal.
Definitely.
And I think the same principle applies. Like when things are going normal, that's actually good.
Right, exactly.
And it's worth reflecting on, appreciating.
Right. It's easy to forget all these little things, and they're not even really little things. We're just very fortunate to just have them on a daily basis. So much to the point where we forget about them.
Yeah.
Like for people who don't have all of these great things on a regular basis, they know they recognize it when it does, in the few and far between moments when it does happen, when they get something good. And it's like, damn, that's just like,
I'm gonna sneeze.
Okay. I was like, should I brace myself for something right now?
Oh, never mind. False alarm.
But I mean, yeah, no, dude, we're very fortunate. So
I agree.
Yeah.
That's why I have to give it a 7. Like even if maybe
dude,
deep down I'm not looking back at this year and going, oh yeah, this is a solid 7.
Right.
Like I guess it's mostly my perceived, subjective experience.
Of course.
But then I also put it in the context of living on this planet.
Yeah.
So maybe this year was a 5, but considering all the the privileges I enjoy,
right,
I put that up to a 7.
Absolutely. We got our health. We got like all 4 limbs. Like both eyes are working.
No wars on our continent.
No wars on our dude. Oh my god. Like Twitter can bum you out just as much as it makes you appreciate, where you're at.
Yeah, and it was interesting traveling to Europe and just being like, I've never been on the same continent as an active war.
Right.
And it's not like I was worried about it or anything. It was just like there's this top layer of ease and security that we take for granted.
Yes.
That's kind of stripped away. It's not like you feel scared or worried or anything. It's just like there's a little bit of uncertainty, just intrinsic uncertainty, because there's a war being fought. It may be 1,000 miles away, but it's on the same landmass as you.
Yeah.
And for us Americans, that is unheard of.
Exactly.
Other than, I guess Pearl Harbor.
Right.
And that was Hawaii. Like the
Yeah.
continental
Yeah, it
U.S.
doesn't
has
even
never
count.
has never, you know,
Right.
in contemporary times dealt with
Exactly.
any kind of active conflict.
COVID was like the closest thing to a war that I think that we've ever experienced.
Yeah,
know,
I would say so. It
biochemical war.
definitely gave people more than their fair share of trauma
Yeah.
and, you know, long-term, you know, physical ailments.
Right.
But at the same time, it was worldwide.
Yeah.
So we weren't
Sure.
we weren't alone in that.
Exactly.
But we did have, I mean, it's interesting, like our country, it seems like it really got kind of politically and socially damaged by COVID because there was so much
Polarization
polarization, narrative,
politicism.
people pushing their agendas
Yeah.
around it.
Right.
I think that was
Very divisive.
that was sort of a source of damage that's
We took an L.
long-term.
We definitely
Yeah.
took an L from COVID in that regard.
Yeah.
Like I feel like
It was a chance for us to become
stronger.
more united.
Exactly. And it did the polar opposite, dude.
Blew us apart
Yeah.
even further, made everything more us versus them.
It was just another huge thing to disagree about and to fight over. You know, it's like, dude, I still get negative comments from older videos from 2020 where like I'm wearing a mask
Yeah.
and people are just rotten in the comments, you know, just like, dude, take that face diaper off your head, you piece of. I'm just like, dude, I was doing a build with a friend and we didn't want to die, but people are so heated about it, and it goes both ways too. You know, it's like if someone's not wearing a mask, you know, someone will flip their shit. Like it goes both ways.
I feel like wearing a mask falls under freedom of expression. It's just in my mind, it's like you can wear a mask.
Yeah.
You can not wear a mask.
Right. Japan's been doing it for years.
That's
All of Asia.
So yeah, like okay. Years ago, I was going to, and I don't know if I told this story before, so stop me if I did.
Which one is this?
I went to visit some friends who had a kid,
Yeah.
and I was sick,
Okay.
and so I put on a mask. This was like, I don't know, 2016 or
Okay.
something.
Yeah.
2015 maybe. And so I show up, you know, because they have a kid in the house,
Yeah.
and I'm sick.
Like an infant, like a newborn type.
Like 1-year-old maybe.
Yeah.
And they look at me like I've got a dick growing out of my forehead.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
Wearing a mask? I'm like, I'm sick. I'm trying to, you know.
Right. Not get your shitty kid sick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Excuse me.
But
it's such a cultural thing.
It is.
You know, it's like
it is.
I feel like Americans pre-COVID, we only saw people. You only wore masks if there was a zombie apocalypse and like you were gonna catch the Z virus,
Yeah.
via some airborne bullshit.
Yeah.
Like you that's like where our brain goes. Like we see someone in a mask, it's like biohazard. It's like
Right.
it's like dramatized. You know, there's no practical reason to wear a mask. You know, in our minds. And then I want to say like 2020 helped change that. Now it's a bit more normalized, but now it's just like you could get shot for wearing a mask, you know, because someone doesn't agree with that like your choices.
Is there a lot of violence to that degree?
I mean, I wouldn't say to that level, but I mean, fights have definitely broken out over people wearing or not wearing a mask.
I wore a respirator.
Yeah.
I wore a respirator from early 2020 to, you know, late 2021.
Yeah.
Didn't get sick once.
Nice.
Because it was an actual like very high efficiency filter respirator.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
and
How expensive? How much did it cost?
I had a few. One of them was a full face respirator.
Yeah. I bet you looked wild with that thing, just walking into a store.
It was the one from Breaking Bad.
That's pretty sick. Would you like go out in public with it and stuff?
Oh yeah, I worked in it.
Yeah.
And
You worked in it?
I would work in it. I was in retail.
Oh, damn. Just be like, hello, sir. Can I
Yeah.
help you? You just
Yeah.
Like Darth Vader status.
I
dude.
got a lot of different interesting reactions to that.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I decided that having a full face respirator was a little bit overkill. So I went to just a half face. So because I could wear glasses with that.
Right.
With the other one, I had to wear contacts, and I ran out of contacts.
Yeah.
I just got tired of it.
Right.
But I wore that. It was super easy. It was lightweight. It was comfy, and it protected me really, really well.
The full face mask.
It was actually great when there's a bunch of fires.
Yeah.
And the air quality is dog shit.
Right. Right.
Because I wasn't getting any of that smoke and nastiness. I was breathing super clean air.
What kind of negative reactions did you get when you would wear that mask at work?
Like people kind of just scoffing or mocking me a little bit.
Yeah. It's like, this is ridiculous. Look at this guy.
Yeah, basically. And I'm like, you know what?
Dork.
I am, and I don't care because this is. I spent a lot of money on this.
Yeah.
And I have not gotten sick at all.
It's worked.
I have not gotten sick.
Which is saying a lot considering that you were working in retail at the time.
Yeah.
Like you're doing customer service day in, day out.
Yeah. And
that's,
Yeah.
Proof is in the pudding.
I still have that. And the only reason, like, I would still wear it. Like, if I was going to go to a sports game.
Yeah.
I would still wear it, except I have to shave off my beard.
I thought you were going to say your balls.
I can't wear my respirator if I don't shave my balls.
I was like, you're the scientist here, not me.
No, I would be perfectly happy to wear it pretty regularly. Like if I have to go to a sports event or.
But you didn't wear it at the last. You went to a basketball game,
and I got sick.
Did you wear it though?
No.
Oh shit.
Because I didn't want to cut my beard off. I don't like that. My face feels cold all the time.
Then you have the warmth of the mask and your breath.
Nah,
keeping it nice
it's not
and
the
toasty.
same. It's a sweater.
It's a sweater versus central heating.
And my skin doesn't appreciate it. That's my excuse. The truth is, I like having a beard just because I think it looks good. I think it feels good.
That's fair.
And I'm lazy.
Dude, you had a hell of a nasty cold. It wasn't COVID that you got from that game,
was
it?
No.
But it was hella nasty. I could just hear you just like coughing up a lung in your room. You sounded like you were dying of.
I was in bed with a fever for a couple of days.
Jeez, dude. I was like, God, I hope I don't get that.
Yeah, no.
Shockingly, I didn't. But I think that's because I was slightly sick maybe a week or two before. Maybe
So
it was
your
a
immune
similar
system
strain.
was revved up or something.
Yeah. But was it worth it? Like, was the game worth it? I've never been to a basketball game, so I don't know. Not that I'm like huge into basketball or sports in general, but
it was cool.
I've always felt like I enjoy sports the most when I'm seeing it live.
Mm-hmm. It was cool. I would say it would have been worth it if I hadn't gotten sick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
But since I did get sick from that, I would say not quite.
You wouldn't roll that same dice.
Also, the security people took so much of my shit.
Oh yeah, you lost a flashlight?
I lost a flashlight.
Oof.
I lost a Sharpie. I lost a whistle.
Why'd you have a whistle on you?
I always have a whistle.
You always have a whistle?
Yeah.
Damn.
And it's just like, there's been a couple times where I was just like, I need everybody's attention right now.
Yeah, right.
And it works great for that.
I bet it does. Wait, okay. What are some times that you've had to use the whistle? I already know about the time in Iceland.
Yeah, there was that. And unfortunately, it didn't really work.
It was just because people were spaced out.
I think
people weren't.
Yeah,
around.
people were just spaced out, and they also didn't understand that 3 blasts on a whistle is a
call for help.
It's like a SOS. Like that's an emergency.
Yeah, get the over here. We need you.
Yeah. But I've used it for just getting somebody's attention, like in downtown LA. My friend I was trying to meet up with my friend. They were across the street.
Ballsy to blow a whistle at full blast in DTLA.
It was just a little peep. It wasn't like a referee whistle.
Yeah, you just don't know if that's gonna like trigger some like crip or blood, down the street. It's like some like, I don't know, some war cry or something like that. Like,
yeah, no, it worked fine.
Whitey.
There was some other time I used it. I can't think exactly what it was. And then one of the main reasons that I had it was just like, if there's ever like a public emergency, like a fire or something.
Yeah.
I'm equipped to get everybody's attention and be like, exit the building.
Get the hell out of here.
Whatever. If nobody else is on top of that, then I can help at least.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. There is something about a whistle. It's like, I was going to say, like, you could just like shout at the top of your lungs, but it's like, that's
when
not,
everyby's shouting, it just kind of blends.
It just
together.
blends in. Yeah. So you're attacking that super high frequency that no human voice can hit.
Yeah.
So it stands out a lot.
Yeah. So when
cool.
I went to the game, I left my knife behind, obviously.
Yeah.
But everything else, I was just like the Sharpie was just for work. I don't normally carry a Sharpie.
You probably look like the biggest troll. Walk in with a flashlight, whistle, and Sharpie. They're like, this guy is up to no good. This guy's trouble. Because he's going to be distracting the players with the flashlight and the whistle. He's going to be vandalizing our chairs and shit with the Sharpie. You probably look. They probably like did like security kind of like pay you more mind. They were like, all right, what's up with this guy? Or was it just
it was just a hassle.
Yeah, it's just a hassle.
And I was just like, okay, fine, take this, take that.
Did
all
they
right,
pat you down?
No. They wanded me.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, okay, you're taking this flashlight. At least let me take the battery out. That's worth more than the flashlight almost.
Right.
So
what a bunch of dicks, dude.
Yeah.
God, things have gotten so strict. So strict.
And it was I would say definitely that watching basketball in person is more engaging than watching it on TV.
Yeah.
Especially because I don't have to watch so many commercials.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. And when the players aren't playing, like
they're throwing T-shirts into the audience.
Yeah,
and
right. You can go get a hot
stuff.
dog or something.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. That's pretty cool. Damn, dude. I shouldn't say that things have gotten strict. Like, I gotta remember some countries like women can't even show their faces and shit. So we got it pretty good.
We do.
But it is like it is always like that rule of a few bad apples ruins the whole bunch.
Yeah.
It's like it's just a few bad actors that troll too hard, fuck up things for the rest of us. Suddenly, that's why we can't have nice things.
Well, I'm sure if I had tried to take a laser pointer in there, they would have taken that away as well.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
I
definitely.
I wouldn't have had any reason to, but
yeah, right.
Yeah.
I know a lot of sporting events. I've been to some football games where it's like the only backpacks you can bring in are the see-through ones, like the clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone can just see your shit.
So strict.
Yeah, that's rough.
But what do you have? What do you have in your backpack right now that you'd be like, oh, I don't want to have this in a see-through backpack?
Oof, God.
Because I don't want people to see what I have
in my backpack right now. I don't think,
or just
in general, like something that I would have.
Spare underwear.
I don't really keep spare underwear in just like a day bag.
You should,
unless I'm like, I'm 35 now. I really should.
I will say that this year
chances.
I had a small low moment, and I've made it a habit just to keep a little pair of extra underwear and some shorts in my backpack.
Yeah, and
those came in clutch.
Do you think this would sell? Do you think, like, if we went on Shark Tank, if we sold like sharding kits? Like, it's a very portable, pocket-sized
to induce sharding, or
not to induce sharding. In the event of a tragic shart, of an untimely shart.
It's just a compact fix-it kit.
Yeah, it's your one-stop shop. It's got everything you need. It's got what would be in there? You need a wet wipe, at least a few wet wipes.
Yeah, so the bare minimum would be some wet wipes,
some spare underwear,
Right, but if you're trying to keep it super compact, maybe some like hydrogen peroxide wipes.
Okay.
Because occasionally a shart will, reach the outer layer of your outfit.
If it breaches, it's like the walls in
Containment
Attack on
breach.
Titan. If it gets past wall number 2, you're done.
So you're trying to go for compact. You can't.
Yeah.
It's hard to stuff a whole pair of pants in there.
Yeah.
Unless they're leggings. So, that's good for the ladies, I guess.
Yeah, true.
For me, it's just a pair of shorts.
Right.
But bare minimum would be some wipes, replacement underwear, and probably a little disposal bag.
Yeah, I was gonna say something to toss it in if
Like
there's
an opaque, a black bag.
Yeah, right.
Not
a see-through backpack.
Not a see-through backpack.
That's what I wouldn't want in my see-through backpack.
Exactly.
My shardy ass undies.
That's okay. There you go. Brought it full circle.
And we're back.
Yeah.
But I want to do I looked up some. This is all done by ChatGPT. I asked it to give me some weird, quirky New Year's traditions from cultures around the world.
Okay.
I thought we could just discuss some of these.
Yeah.
This is all from ChatGPT.
So it could be completely made up.
Could be complete bullshit, but
that actually makes it a little more appealing, honestly.
Yeah.
Because if it's total bullshit and we just totally rag on it, nobody's going to get offended because it was real to begin with.
It is a win-win. Because if it is real and we bag on it, then we just get to offend a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And that's also pretty funny.
That could be, yeah.
Okay, the first one's Spain. 12 grapes. In Spain, it's a tradition to eat 12 grapes at the stroke of midnight, each grape representing good luck for each month of the coming year.
Okay.
So does that mean like...
I want to dive into like the cultural why is it grapes? Like, why are grapes lucky?
Yeah.
Like, are grapes the red, dragon, like China has? Like,
right.
Red and gold and
that
kind of stuff. Like, how do you condense that all into a grape?
Isn't grape like kind of like a royalty type fruit or whatever? Because don't you see like the Greeks, like they're always like being fed grapes and stuff. Like they're being fanned by palm leaves and like they're always eating fruit. Like, I don't know if that's just a trope that...
I think that might be a Hollywood trope.
Okay.
But it also might be something that's historically accurate. Like there's frescoes of Roman, feasts where people are eating grapes.
And also like wine. Like wine is like the grapes are holy almost because of the whole wine thing. Like Europe is intense about their wine.
Yeah.
So it could be something like that. But I wonder if like I wonder how it works. Like if...
Do you have to swallow them whole or do you chew them?
That would suck. That doesn't sound like you'd get good luck. It sounds like you'd get
a choking hazard.
Yeah, you probably start the new year off dying of air, gasping for air. Denmark, broken dishes. Mm-hmm. Danes save old and unused dishes throughout the year and then smash them against the doors of friends and family on New Year's Eve. The more broken dishes on your doorstep, the more popular you are.
I like that.
That's pretty cool. That's super cool. Have you ever been to a break bar?
No.
You know what it is? Like, you basically just go in there.
You're like Thor, like, oh, this is good. Another one.
Dude, like, literally, you're just in a room, and they put you in, like, some protective, like, suit or whatever with a mask.
Oh, I thought
goggles.
It was a bar where you just break your glass after you finish a drink.
I mean, kind of, but instead of a bar, it's just, like, this empty room with, like, a bunch of, like, there's, like, a TV. Like, they have just, it's like a recycling center, but you get to just destroy all the things that are recycled there.
Oh, okay.
So, like, when I went to the one in New York, and they give you, like, a baseball bat, crowbar, a bunch of shit to, like, bang on things, jackhammer, like, a mallet, and then a bunch of stuff to destroy, like glasses, plates. There was a PC, which was very cathartic. I really got into that.
You got all up in that.
And then TV, just smash. Like, so you're just smashing all this stuff
I've
for like
always
15
wanted to smash
minutes.
an old CRT.
Dude, it is so satisfying. It's so like, this is very cliche, but it's like therapeutic in a way.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you have all this pent up aggression, I think.
Yeah.
Just as people like stress or whatever.
Yeah.
And like you let it all out in a way that you've never done before, and it's tiring. Like, I was dripping sweat. I was so sweaty. It was like 10, 15 minutes that you're in there, and like I'm sore, and I'm just like, oh, but it felt good. I felt like
so. It was actually a good workout too.
Definitely. I burned some calories, but I feel like that kind of resounds here.
I like it. I like the community aspect of it.
Yeah.
I like the breaking things part of it.
Right.
Because let's face it, I like breaking things.
What if you have a glass door? Someone just getting your door
just put a piece of plywood up in front of your door for the night. I don't know.
I mean, that's got to happen. Someone's like, yeah,
Or
yeah.
maybe they just aim it for the steps or something.
If they're courteous.
The only downside is just having to clean up all that crap in the morning.
Yeah, right. Imagine
Especially
like
if
100
it's
dishes.
like, all frozen. Like there's like
Wait, like,
like
the temperature, like the climate.
Yeah, like there was some
Right.
rain and then it all turned to ice and
Yeah.
then froze all the shattered things to the ground.
You can't tell snow from shards of glass or
That
porcelain,
could be a little downside.
ceramic. Yeah, that could be.
But overall,
a little
I like
risky.
it.
Yeah, I enjoy the spirit of it. South Africa's furniture tossing. In some parts of South Africa, it's common to throw old furniture out the window to symbolize starting the new year with a clean slate.
I like it. It seems a little bit dangerous.
If you're on the second floor,
Yeah,
just tossing a couch, eating a coffee table out the window.
I think you better be like paying close attention when you're walking down the street.
Yeah, right.
If there's like, some multi-story building next to you.
That would be insane if it's just like a 10-story apartment building and people are just throwing furniture out the windows.
Chairs are rocketing out
It's
the
like
window.
people just like the locals just know, like don't go outside.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Hard rain is falling. Some of it's padded, but ultimately,
Yeah. Yeah, no. Don't do that. Philippines round shapes. Filipinos believe that round shapes symbolize prosperity. Hence, they fill their pockets with coins, and many prepare round fruits for the new year. So round shapes symbolize prosperity. Roundness. They like that fat ass or something. I don't know.
They fill up their pockets with coins
And fruit.
just to jingle jangle, or to share them with people, or
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, do they do that's true. Like, do they go around like kind of displaying it to others? Like, yeah, jingling, jangling, or is it like
spurs.
don't. We're not going there right now. We are not going there. Or is it like they just privately keep coins in their pockets as they go about their day, and everyone just kind of like knows, like, we've all got coins, but no one's saying it.
Aren't the majority of fruits round?
What's not a round fruit? Banana.
Eggplant.
Is eggplant a fruit or a vegetable? I mean, I guess it's one of those things where it's like tomato's technically a fruit. It's like, no, like, okay, we all agree it's a vegetable, but maybe
Pineapple.
pineapple is fairly round.
It's kind of cylindrical.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's half round.
but I guess whatever local fruits are especially round, or what's popular for that.
Yeah, maybe it's like the rounder the fruit, the better. Like what's like a honeydew? Like a cantaloupe is probably as round as it gets,
Yeah,
right?
but do they just have the fruit, like display it, or do they eat it?
It just says they prepare round fruits for the new year. That's very common in like Asian culture, is like to give like fruit. Like you've seen like the fancy fruit, like from
Like
Korea,
the Japanese grapes,
or Japan.
Yeah,
Both of them. Yeah, like they're just super expensive. They look perfect. They look like Pixar CGI
and
generated.
And it's like $50 for like a dozen grapes.
My mom, I was for Christmas, Mel and I were over at my parents, and my mom was like, "Oh yeah, we got some of those. I think it was like strawberries or something like that." She's like, "We got these like really nice strawberries, and like we had to try them because they were like $20." And I was like, "How were they?" She was like, "They look better than they taste." She was like, "They tasted good, but not like $20 good." So it's really about the presentation, I think.
Have you ever gotten strawberries from a roadside stand around here?
Not around here.
Like in California, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have.
More like Orange County, I guess.
Long time ago. Yeah, a long time ago. But they're good.
Yeah, they're
They're really good.
Especially in summer.
Yeah.
Oh,
if it's in season, bangers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they slap.
Sorry, you just reminded me of that, and I was like,
yeah, dude.
I feel like that's not something you can do in most places.
Yeah.
Where you're literally at the field buying the strawberries.
Right.
And it's not out in a rural area.
Exactly. Because it's like, that the person on that stand, like, has way more quality access to that fruit than what you're getting at your local grocery store down the street. 100%. 100%. Like the other day I was driving down, if you go down and just make a left on, well, I won't say the street name, but there's a guy at the stop sign who's just always there. And he's like, this Mexican dude just with a little fruit stand.
Yeah.
He has like some fruit cups and stuff. And I always drive by and I'm just like, I bet that fruit's delicious. I bet it's so good, and we're all just sleeping on it. We're all just
Yeah.
passing this guy like whatever, and he's got the best fruit in town.
I challenge you to try that man's fruit.
I will. Next time I see him, I will. I will stop by and.
Does he sell whole fruits or
holler.
like fruit cup, like prepared fruits?
From what I'm seeing, that's on display. It's like the cup fruits that he's like pre-cut or whatever. Mm-hmm. But there was one time, actually not 2 blocks from there. This was maybe earlier, last year. There was a guy who was selling whole mangoes.
Ooh.
For pretty cheap, much
do like
cheaper than the
mangoes.
grocery store, and those are really good. Those are really good, but he hasn't been back. That was like, I don't know if it was like a weird seasonal thing, one-time thing. Might be the same guy, I don't know. But they know what they're doing with their fruits, those street vendors. Colombia's empty suitcase stroll. Colombians take an empty suitcase and walk around the block at midnight in hopes of having a year filled with travel and adventure.
Interesting. That's a really specific. I can't think of any other like cultural traditions that are like, oh, travel is cool. I want more travel in the coming year or something.
Yeah,
like something
right.
that's encouraging that mindset
Travel and adventure, like that is cool.
instead of just like luck and wealth.
Right.
It's a good way to change it up.
Yeah. I mean, if you've been to Colombia, you know why they want to get the fuck out.
I have not, but I take your word for it.
That's a joke. I'm being facetious. It's a beautiful place. I mean, I only went to Medellin, but it's it's come a long way. It's like it's still on the poorer side compared to the U.S. or whatever, but God, from like how far they've come since like the cartel days, it's kind of like how like New York.
But they still have cartels, right?
They do, but they just don't have the same power. It's like the mafia still has a presence in New York and Vegas, but it's
Right.
just like they don't really have power like they used to. It's
Or they're
not
just
the same, or they're just waiting.
they're
waiting
just
to strike.
better at
hiding it.
bribing the authorities and hiding their stuff.
You never know. Could be. But I did.
Dunno.
But I did not see an ounce of violence or bloodshed while I was there, which would have been probably rampant. Even 15, 20 years ago.
Gotcha.
But it's kind of funny that they just roll around with suitcases. I wonder how practiced that is.
That sounds
it's super
sounds
traditional.
like it sounds like a Chat GPT made up thing, possibly.
I'm gonna investigate.
We got
this
to
one.
fact check that,
Yeah, definitely.
because if it's actually real, I like it.
That'd be super cool. Yeah. I also wouldn't walk around certain parts of Colombia with a briefcase full of good stuff. I would have a mostly empty briefcase.
That would be
seedier parts.
That would be the perfect time to transport valuables. Is if everybody's out there
Yeah.
carrying
You just got
empty suitcases.
One guy full of cocaine, just.
Yeah.
That's. I bet you anything that happens a lot.
Probably.
I bet you anything.
It would be only logical.
It's perfect. The first person to enter a home in Scotland after the stroke of midnight, known as the first footer, is believed to bring good fortune for the upcoming year.
That's cool.
So the guy who was late to your New Year's Eve party is technically the one bringing you all the good luck.
Harbinger of good luck.
Yeah,
I'll be fashionably late for that.
it's pretty cool.
Because I'm sure you get a little status from that, right? You're like, I'm the one who
Right.
brought the good luck.
Oh, it's the first footer.
Yeah, but what happens
Yeah.
if everybody has terrible luck and then they're like, you didn't do your job?
You're a shit first footer, dude. You dropped the ball, man. It's like Bad Luck Brian steps in at 12:01. No. Everyone yeet yourself. Like what if you get robbed, like right after the clock strikes 12, like some dude just breaks into your house. It's like
And they're the first
they're
footer.
the first footer.
They're like, hey, it's your lucky day. I'm taking your stuff.
Don't worry, it's all uphill from here, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm sure
I
they
don't
say
know.
y'all in Scotland all the time. Russia's fortune, telling with wax. In Russia, some people melt wax and pour it into cold water. The shape of the wax is then interpreted to predict the future for the coming year. Oh, so it's like a Rorschach test.
Yeah. And it's
With
also,
wax.
it reminds me of, there was a profession in Rome called a haruspex.
Uh-huh.
And
A profession?
yeah, they were a fortune teller, but instead of like melted wax and
Yeah.
the shapes that it makes when you drop it into water, they would just look at the entrails of dead animals.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh,
It's like,
that's
tarot
nasty.
reading, but with spleens and intestines and whatnot.
God.
Yeah. So I like the one with the candle wax better because it
Yeah.
involves a lot less animals getting disemboweled.
Well, would they actually kill the animals themselves?
Yeah, I think so.
Damn. Just to like make some bullshit prediction.
Yeah, I don't think they were like going to a butcher and just getting a big bag of entrails to
Right.
dump out and sort through.
Yeah.
I think they were just like,
How long ago were they doing this, or is this still a
it was
thing?
Rome.
Oh, this is Rome.
It was
Gotcha.
not contemporary Rome.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I was gonna say, who's still doing this?
Haruspex is
I'm
a
gonna
Latin
blast them
word.
on TikTok. Yeah. Okay.
So there you go.
That makes sense. It's like just throwing a squirrel like full speed against a brick wall and be like, well, looks like we're having spaghetti tomorrow.
Based on the splat it made.
Based on the splat, I think we're having pasta.
I like the Russian
Marinara.
tradition. I compared
like
to the
it?
other things that you could do to like do fortune telling, that one is very benign.
I suppose so. It's not like some human sacrifice shit.
Yeah.
Like the Aztecs. I gotta watch Apocalypto again.
That's on my rainy day list.
Yeah.
Haven't seen it.
I haven't either. Oh wait.
You just said watch it again.
I've seen bits and pieces of it, but I've never watched it all the way through. I need to give it a proper watch.
Okay.
Those are all the weird things that ChatGPT came up with. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. I don't think we have anything weird that any tradition for New Year's that would be weird to another country, right? Maybe kiss someone at midnight usually. But that's not really weird.
You're getting midnight kisses? I don't get midnight kisses.
I mean, isn't that a thing? Like at midnight, like don't we kiss if you're like you find someone to kiss?
I don't know.
Isn't that a thing? Maybe I've seen too many movies. It's Hollywood bullshit. But
I think we just get wasted and party for New Year's, and that's like, what else do we do for New Year's?
sharing a midnight kiss. The tradition of sharing a kiss at midnight on New Year's Eve is believed to bring luck and love. It's thought that starting the year with a kiss signifies affection and fosters stronger relationships throughout the year. That's also on foxnews.com, so I don't know.
But I mean, off the top of my head, I can't think of anything that's an overall American tradition that's considered wacky or weird. But
Yeah, no.
Now, if you dig into like Wisconsin or West Virginia or whatever, like I'm
Utah.
sure if you dig down into like
Statewide traditions.
like small areas,
Yeah.
you could probably find some interesting local traditions.
Oh, that's a good point. Dude, there's some weird ass stuff going on in our country that we don't even know about.
That is usually true.
All right. A potato, of course. Wait, what? In Boise, Idaho, an annual celebration on New Year's Eve includes the dropping of a 17-foot-long glowing potato from a crane.
Okay. So, what is the origin story of that, I wonder?
I mean, well, it's like they drop a ball in New York.
Oh, okay.
So they drop a potato in Idaho.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Okay.
What would we drop? Just a bear?
Big bag of weed.
Just 20 tons of weed. Just all falls on in the middle of downtown and just
But it's on fire, so it's glowing.
scatters. And then it's just a
And then
weed
it's
bomb.
It's just a
Everyone just
bonfire,
gets-
and everybody's just stands.
just gets secondhand smoke from it.
Yep.
Dude, yeah. That would be great. While like Snoop Dogg's like in the background singing California, California Love. That is so California. That is so California.
That's what sprang to mind. I'm glad it rings true for you.
Yeah, no. Nailed it. Pretty solid. There was a Mel and I we just came back from New Orleans for her birthday, and we were in a cab, and the Uber driver was like, "Where are you guys from?" It's like, "Oh, we're from LA." He's like, "Oh man, you guys got good weed over there, huh?" I was like, "Dude, it's the best. It rules."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Really?" It's like, "It's all legal, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, dude. It's like you just go in there and like they got money, dude. Like these dispensaries, they're shelling out $100,000 just to like decorate the place. Like they're super fancy. You go in there, it's like all top shelf, top of the line shit." And he was just like in a daze. Like he was just like daydreaming about it. He's like, "Man, I gotta get I gotta get down there.
You know,
It is pretty insane, the operation we've got now.
it is. And when I was in Amsterdam, I just was kind of doing a tourist thing, and I just
Yeah.
went to this shop where they sell cannabis seeds.
Yeah. Oh, seeds.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
Trying to grow some shit.
no, just curious. Like,
Yeah.
like what? How does this work? What do they have?
Right.
So I looked at their catalog and I was paging through it, and initially it was all just like local, like stuff, like local strains,
Yeah.
and then like the last 2 or 3 pages were all California strains.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Like,
Dude, we got it down.
Yeah.
We're number one in the we have to be number one in the world for weed.
I'm sure Colorado puts in a good effort, but
There's no way.
But California is just so big,
Yeah.
and
Snoop Dogg lives here.
yeah,
So that's Snoop Dogg is just wherever he lives is where the best weed in the world is. I'm convinced. If he ever
I
moves,
assume that you're correct.
if he ever moves out of state, the best weed in the world is no longer here. And
Yeah.
like, because I remember like the first time I went to Amsterdam, like you hear like all the stories, like, oh, you can just buy like weed's legal, shrooms is legal. It's like everything's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I went to a weed shop there and I was like, this is like mid shelf stuff compared to what we have back home. It's
Yeah.
cool that like this was pre, Prop 8 or whatever, when we could just buy weed whenever.
Right.
So that was cool, but it was just like the quality and like the options, the selection and stuff was just like, I was like, this is probably like, you guys are like 5-6 years behind, where California's at right now.
Yeah.
We're just the GOAT, dude. We're the best when it comes to that stuff. It's crazy.
Pretty much. I mean, it's also very tourism oriented.
Yeah.
So you're probably going to pay, regular prices for inferior stuff, but
Right.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
definitely. Yeah, it's true. They probably keep the good shit in the back.
just like with the cheese.
Is that what they do with the cheese?
I don't know. Apparently the cheese shops in Amsterdam are a big tourist trap. I didn't go to any.
Interesting.
Kind of wish I had, because I'm really craving cheese now.
Are they known for their cheese?
Yeah.
I don't think I didn't really get any like nice gourmet cheese while I was there.
It's all about the Gouda or Gouda.
Gouda.
Yes,
Is that how they pronounce it?
apparently.
They pronounce their G's like H's?
In the case of that cheese,
Gouda.
I resisted temptation. I didn't go to any cheese shops.
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of them.
Right.
But you could tell they were like tourist trappy.
There is a lot of that in Amsterdam. They
Can't blame them. It's
No.
it's a cool place to go to visit. You got a lot
Yep.
of tourism. Might as well make some money off the tourists.
it's part of their economy. Big part of their economy. So,
Some good museums there too.
oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And it's always fun to watch them dredging the bikes out of the canals. Just like
People
a
who
boat.
just fall in.
No, there's just like a boat with a big grabber claw
Yeah.
and reaching in and scooping up
Oh,
handfuls
right.
of bikes and dumping them on a barge.
Yeah. Bikes that had fallen in.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah, I remember seeing that and going,
Because there's no railing.
yeah, there's no railing.
There's just like, if you're drunk or whatever, you stumble, you take a misstep. Even if you're sober,
Yeah.
you just fall, take a left step, and you just fall into the canal. Sometimes from a semi-high height.
Yeah, and I guess if you're gonna fall into the canals, they're not always super deep.
Yeah.
So having not a bunch of rusty bikes waiting for you under the surface would be a bonus.
Yeah. Right.
So
That'd be insane to see someone fall in, go underwater, and then just come back up on a bike and just like, just cruise out, dude.
that would be. I would be more expecting them to come out and be like impaled on a bike handlebar or something.
Yeah, right. No, if he gets up and actually just starts pedaling out, it's not his first time.
This is
not his
this
first
is a
rodeo.
real Amsterdam man.
All right, dude. Well, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Shit. I almost broke
You
that
almost,
glass.
Hey, you better throw it at the door.
That's probably good luck tradition in some part of the
Not
world.
breaking something?
No, to break a glass. I mean, this is Denmark, dude. If this was a plate, we'd be
Dude, we
blessed
should
with good luck.
hit up Goodwill and get a bunch of cheap coffee mugs and then just throw them at all your neighbors' doors.
and be like, "What? I'm from Denmark." What
Is
is What, are you racist now? Yeah, we got what? How much? Like 20 minutes? We got 30 minutes till midnight. So it's already New Year. It's already 2024 in most of the world. But we're gonna have our moment here in just a bit. So we'll leave you with that, guys. Thank you for watching. It's good to be back. We'll see you guys next week.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye-bye.
Later.